All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. For all of you that are in here right now, you're more than likely the ones that show up every day. And you've noticed I didn't go live for the last 2 days. Well, come to find out on Tuesday, I just happened to wake up on the wrong side of intelligence. And I thought it was Wednesday. And I didn't trade. And then you all were like, hey, Cam, FOMC is tomorrow. Today's Tuesday. And I was like, wow. I'm stupid. But then you have to kind of just keep on going, you know? It is what it is. I'll own it. We're going to push past. All right, I'm seeing, let's see, we got gold, oil, both looking good. Okay. We got to say hello to a few people because we got a few in here now. We got Knight, Moses, Mustang, Shaky John, AK, Florian, Sahil, Shaky. Good morning to you all. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're in the world. I hope you're doing well. Just a reminder. Oh no. Something horrible has happened. Let's see. What could it be? Let's try this one. First try. Nice. Just a reminder, this is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express supply warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Pause the stream. Read this. All right, we're going to get going. Starting out, we're going to get out of here. We're going to go to the NASDAQ, as always, and start there on the 15-minute chart. Yeah, it looks like we've been going down. And you're right. It looks like there may have been a few really decent setups, especially here at 9:30. That is pretty textbook even for a FOMC minutes day. Let's go here. Okay. Starting out on Monday, opening range for the week. We had an opening range breakout on Tuesday, which resulted in a lower low and a follow through and a continuation on Wednesday, which is textbook perfect. We even have the 3 peaks. Bottom of the box becomes the top of the box, and it's essentially a breakout pullback. They break out, they pop back up, and they did it in 3 legs here and 3 peaks at the level. 9:30 opens up and goes vertical. That is textbook perfect, and this is one of the setups that I will likely be doing a video on very soon. And then that leads us into today. We're in breakout. We closed in breakout, going down. No signal day other than we're in breakout. So the only trade setup that I might be able to look for at this point is maybe a trend trade back down to and through the low. That is the only setup that I'd be able to or willing to take. This does seem like a fairly capitulated move yesterday, so maybe it was a bit of a blow off. Let's look at today and see. We had a higher high yesterday, kind of, not really. I'm going to keep going. Let's go to US 30. Go to a 15-minute chart. Oh, boy. Okay. We had a first red day back on Friday. Then we triggered the low and made a lower low on Monday. Traded back to previous day's high and failed to go higher at the high of the current week, resetting the cycle day 1. Spiked the low, spiked the high. 3-day rectangle, it seems. Bit of an inside day yesterday. Closing below the open and the close from previous day. And now we're closing lower. Pretty consolidated. Did it trigger? We have not triggered previous week's levels on the US 30 as well. But we are making lower lows and lower highs. We've broken out of a previous day's low. We're at the low of the current week, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the only setup that I could actually take on this, if I were to take anything, market that's making lower lows and lower highs. Oh my gosh, the spam risk. We're at the low of the current week. We're at the levels. I like this more than the NASDAQ because it feels like it hasn't made its move yet. Okay, it hasn't made its move yet. This may just end up being a very consolidated week. As AK just pointed out, you beat me to it, right? This could turn into a consolidated inside week on the US 30 where we've just been kind of oscillating around this week's open and last week's close. So I have to be very careful in doing that because it's very likely that this could just turn into a consolidated week because those weekly levels have not been broken. So not all members of the money are involved right now. Okay. Let's go to gold. Everyone was shouting about gold. Is gold the better setup? Okay. So, yes, I think that gold could be good. And here is why. Number one, we had a peak formation high put in on Monday. Monday could have been the higher high as well. Then we had a peak formation low put in Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday. Day one, possibly day two, peak formation. And it closed in breakout back up towards the upside. You have commercials on. Holy cow, I missed it. I'm sorry. Today's day three of the cycle. We've been going down, little breakout going back up. Is today making higher highs and higher lows? Yesterday was also a first green breakout day one. Today has broken down, made lower lows and lower highs, a little bit of capitulation. And then it has broke and made a higher high. Gold is immediately to the top of my list. I now have a signal day. It closed in breakout in the correct direction. And it was yesterday was a first green day. I think I might have said that twice, whatever. And it's also doing the things that we need it to do today, which is top tier. Excuse my typing. Shaky, have you seen me type? I type like it's my first day using computers sometimes. I get it. Trust me. Yeah. I don't know, maybe. I'm going to take a look at the news here in a second. We'll take a look at it together just to make sure. I looked at it at the beginning of the week, and brother, gold is sideways. I agree. We have not. We're going sideways right now, but weekly levels have been triggered, so that's good enough for me to watch this. Okay, because we still have the high of week level up here. So we could be trading back for a retest of that, which would be a good first green day. Holy cow, get the line straight. There we go. Yeah, so the whole idea, right, is market, the beginning of the week has opened, put in a high, traded down, put in a low. And yes, it is sideways now. We're sitting in between that, but it's a 3-day rectangle. We have peak formation high, peak formation low, breakout first green. Are we going to go back for the retest up high? And we've also triggered the previous day's high today, which is even better. Triggered the high, came down, leg one, came down leg two, leg three, capitulation, reversal, higher high on the day. It depends on where I got in, AK. If I got in sort of around maybe in this area, kind of. Previous day's high, high of day. But ultimately, I think I would want high of day plus 25 or 50 just because it's trying to get back to the high. Huge reminder, everybody. All of this is based on what it has done. What should it do or what do I expect it to do? And then we're just waiting for that to happen at a certain time. If it doesn't happen, then that's fine. We'll just keep on going about our day. Okay, we got the Russell. Looks like Monday opened up as an inside bar. They hit both sides of the range and broke out down. And then we have now been in breakout down. Day 1, day 2. And back down towards the low. So I'm going to project this level across as always. Has the Russell triggered a level? No. Has the NASDAQ? Yeah, so the NASDAQ's actually one of the only indexes that I've seen thus far that has actually triggered a previous week's level. And we still have the market. Remember, it closed in breakout down here. And then it's pumped back up to the high. And the high seems to have failed. So maybe we're going back for the low down here. Maybe I should stay in line with that. Of course, I don't know for sure, but something to think about. I got to sneeze. Holy cow. Excuse me. I felt that one in my soul. All right, oil. It was either my soul or my heart. I guess we'll see. We got Tuesday. It's an inside bar. Yesterday was a breakout day. And then we have today. Have we triggered previous week's levels? No. So it looks like kind of at the beginning of the week, remember on Monday, because that's the only day that I've really streamed this week, on Monday I was saying, hey, look at the news schedule. It's pretty light this week, and we've had a few light weeks for news. We might start seeing a few inside weeks. Things a little bit more consolidated. You just got to be really careful trading at the extremes. Don't expect things to expand as much. They can, of course. But for example, like this hasn't triggered previous week's high or low. We've got previous day's levels being triggered, which is great. We have previous closes in breakout down. And no triggering of the high. Yeah, Shaky, I think it'd be good to see them reverse the market as far as, if they were to break out of a previous week's high and close, you're a lot more safe in the long direction. As you know, it breaks out, pulls back, and then you get a 3-day template in the long direction. That makes a lot more sense. We've been kind of breaking out down, which is fine. There's plenty of setups in both directions. Regardless, I don't really like the NASDAQ. No, sorry, I don't like any of the other indexes as much. The only reason I kind of like US 30 is because it feels like it hasn't made its move yet, but it hasn't triggered levels, which is disappointing. I'm going to get my 4 up here. I don't really feel... I'm not jumping out of my chair for any of these things. I'm going to get the NASDAQ. We're going to get US 30 up here. Russell hadn't triggered levels either, so I'm just going to leave that off. I don't really care. And then we'll put oil up here. Seems like oil maybe is broken down. We've got 3 peaks. How many days long do we have? Inside bar. They triggered the high. They're at the high of the week. The high of the week has potentially failed. Yeah. Okay, we got 1 minute to the open. I don't really trade the first minute of the open anyways. So, let's pull up the news real quick. We'll just make sure that everything is still the same since I'm ridiculous and I've somehow butchered an entire week schedule-wise. All right, I think you all can probably see this, right? Nipsey. All right, we're on Thursday. We got news 9. Oh my gosh. Okay, we got news at 9:45 today. Yeah, so the back half of this week I think is a lot more news. We had the minutes yesterday. We've got 9:45 today. We got Powell speaking tomorrow at 10. Good Lord. Okay. Yeah. Gold is looking a little feisty, huh? Excuse all my ridiculous sniffing here. The moment I went live, I started sneezing like crazy just before. So, have that to look forward to. I'm just playing. Kind of. It can go down during news. It can go up during news too, AK. I don't know if you... I'm just messing around. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. So gold does appear to be a good potential trend trade. Oh my gosh. I don't have allergies. I just want you all to know that. I don't have allergies. And my house is extremely clean. So I don't know what up with all the sneezing. Timing, Florian. And consolidation. If we're down at the low in consolidation for X amount of time without breaking out, 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. The longer you're in consolidation, there's a good chance that there could be a reversal, even if it is short term. Or at the very least, it's not ready to go in that direction. So it's a lot to do with timing, right? For example, it's 9:30 right now. And how many times have you seen me during the stream come in and be watching and say it is not doing the things that I need it to do prior to me taking the trade? For example, if I wanted to go long on the NASDAQ, it's pulled back in 2 bars and then gone lower. So this high would need to have been broken. They would have to make a higher high, give me a pullback, 3 pushes of some kind, and engulf back up to the upside. And all of that has to happen before I'm done with my session in the morning. Right? So if it's not happening in the morning session, then I know that I need to not do anything. Look at the chart. Look at the template. What should it do based off the template? What is the story telling you? Read it like a book from left to right. What does each detail mean? Okay, we've closed in breakout down. That tells me it could trend. We could trend lower. It could reverse. But right now, we're in breakout down. It could trend lower. So I project my level across. What setup am I looking for? How did it present today? If it could trend lower, then it needs to be making lower lows and lower highs. Is it doing that? What levels are important? High of the day. Previous day's low. Did they break out and pull back? Did they pin the low, making a lower low, pop back up a little bit, and then go vertical? Right? So I look for the template. Template is the most important thing out of everything. Yeah, I don't like how this bar closed. It closed higher, which tells me that they might be squeezing out the shorts. So in this case, we look at NASDAQ. I don't really... Hey, Florian, I just use that as an example, okay? I use that as an example. I'm not particularly fond of the NASDAQ because it has not triggered a weekly level, and we're on the inside. And yes, we're in breakout down. It's not necessarily great. US 30, I'm sorry, the NASDAQ has triggered a level. So yes, I am looking for the market to make lower lows and lower highs to go down. That's very confusing. I've just completely goofed it. The NASDAQ has triggered a level. I'm looking for a continuation to the downside. If I don't get that, then whatever. US 30 has not triggered a level, and I'm not really that fond of it. Okay. Gold has triggered a level, and we have a signal day, so I am now looking for it to make higher highs and higher lows, which it is. Yeah, and we have news. So that's why I'm not, all of this, regardless of how good it looks or how bad it looks, I'm not really interested because we have news. No, actually, you know what? Hold on. I think I have it. Let me grab it. Let's see here. Yeah. So, Vilo asked, are you still using magic keys? This is what I used to use. Let's see. Can you all see that? Probably can. It's what I used to use for trading. And it was basically like a trade management keyboard. Very quickly, you can add in, you can close full, close half, close custom amount. So if you want to do, a percentage of your trade, you can target certain amounts. You can put your stop loss at entry. Like, it was all programmable, but it was for MetaTrader, and I don't have MetaTrader. I don't trade currencies anymore, which is extremely unfortunate. I loved MetaTrader. It was like trading on an Excel document. Probably the least user-friendly, format you could ever trade on. But for whatever reason, I really liked it. Kind of just let you do whatever. That's what I liked it, I think. You were using the screen version? Yeah, I never had. I just got the physical one, and I know it was more expensive, but something about having the physical thing and not just a program always makes me happy. Same thing with like movies and stuff. Whenever I buy movies, I go and buy the physical thing. As weird as that is. Yeah, no worries, Vila. I'm not affiliated with that product, by the way. I've never been affiliated with that product. I enjoyed the product. You have to be very careful with it. Make sure that you're testing prior to using live money with it, especially for like indexes and things. It's very different than for currencies. You'll over leverage very easily if you go from a currency straight into, like, if you're using a currency profile and then you go into an index and try to trade that, you're going to be very surprised. What do I think of natural gas? I actually haven't looked at it. I'm going to go. I think yesterday was an inside bar. Yeah. Today's breakout. I pulled back. It looks kind of clunky. Kind of looks like 1, 2, and then now we're up into 3. As far as trade setups go, the setup would have been from the level, right? And if it was clean and at the right time of day. Kind of feels like maybe the train's left the station on that one. Thoughts on ES? Or does ES look very similar to... Hey, John, same thesis as NASDAQ, I think, on this one. Yeah, this is the same thesis as NASDAQ, John. Yep. Okay, yeah, I just saw what you said. We're on the same page. Yep. The news is, it's unfortunate. Yeah. Yep. Now, I think the NASDAQ is interesting in the sense that we've now got, essentially a breakout now. And this little pen is the middle structure of a W. I'm not willing to go long on this. Okay. However, I'm a little worried about its willingness to go down. Florian, yes. I already know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. P1, P2, P3. The only thing I'm a little worried about is we just made this higher high. Does that mean anything? It could. Okay. Also, price action. Look at where the bars are closing. Who's making money? Because right now it kind of seems like the shorts are panicking. I was short here, and then this bar goes straight up, and then they keep on making it feel like maybe it could go back down. But if they keep closing the bars a little bit higher, it's going to hurt some people. That's going to hurt. Someone's going to give up. There's going to be max pain, and if it does, spike up, there's going to be a max pain point, and it's going to squeeze. I'm looking for a short. I don't want to be a part of a short squeeze if I'm trying to go short. I think gold was good, but it was good at 9.15 on this pattern. Somebody is going to probably correct me and tell me, Cameron, that's not what you're saying it is. That's great. I don't care. Got a little ascending triangle here. And whenever this happens, where you have the close of the bars kind of relatively in the same place, and then you have this spike up, and they slam it back down. I love this pattern. It's pretty reliable. Even if it's just for a scalp on the breakout. When it spikes out of the range, comes back down, and they start ascending the closes, and it breaks out like this. It's a pretty good entry pattern. Even like I said, even if it is just for a scalp. Okay, there's 9:45, the news. Okay, NASDAQ has just started allowing people to get back out of their positions. I would like to wait and see how the bar closes. Gold is making a very large push down, but that doesn't mean anything. Could be a stop hunt before the actual move. They could pin down through all of these people. Is that likely? Eh. I don't think you need advice, Stanley. I think you just need to keep doing the same things that you were doing to get funded, and then just keep doing them. It seems like maybe you have a mental block. You have the ability. Do some self-reflection. Be honest with yourself. Don't BS yourself. Yeah, I'm liking the NASDAQ a lot more now. Let's see, how big is this range? Oh, that's pretty big. Okay, we're going to go on down to the old MNQ, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, when I see that in preparation... No, I don't use FTMO. And their prices are insane, by the way. Just want y'all to know that. In my opinion. That is a humble opinion. Okay, I'm liking NASDAQ less now. Why is it pulling back like that? That's a pretty big retracement on this down close bar. Gonna want to see that close below that fancy little red line down there. Or else the shorts may have just... We've kind of gone into this. Look at this. Oop. Boop. That is the Dorito of doom. The tortilla chip of torture. Not a fan. How do you show up every day, make mistakes, get used to being uncomfortable, bounce back, take every trade as if it was your first, and when you think you should stop or when you think something isn't right, follow your gut. Just listen to it. If you need to stop, if you say the trade isn't there and then you take it anyways, no. Of course, to have a gut feeling, you have to have experience, which means putting in the work. You should be charting 5 to 10 charts every single day. Minimum. You should have a massive collection of well-documented, this is what I should be looking for based off of what I've seen in the past and what details matter in my playbook and whatever. I should have a whole entire study guide made for yourself. And that comes from discipline. Watching, looking every single day, charting every single day, and developing the skills, knowing what to look for. That's how Stanley. I don't know if you work out or if you lift weights. It's the same thing, consistency. That's all getting in shape really is just showing up every day. You don't have to do anything crazy. You're not running marathons every day. You're not whatever. You know, if you have bad eating habits, that stinks. You can improve those, but just show up every day. Work out 30, 45 minutes. Can really change your life. You'll start to feel better. You'll start to look better. You'll start to see the change in yourself. Then others will see the change in you. And discipline aspect-wise, trading is exactly the same. Yeah, Shaky. I was happy with NASDAQ right up until I saw a tortilla chip of torture. Look at this. This is how I've got my hands right now. I'm just holding them on my desk like this. We're not touching mouse. We're not touching anything. This is insane. We need to let the market come back to a place of sanity. And by sanity, I mean I just want a trading setup, not a it looks like it's going to do this or it looks like it's going to do that. 10 a.m. club? It could be, yeah. Who was saying there was news at 10? I didn't see it on the calendar. But it wouldn't be the first time that, Forex Factory or TradingView has lied to me. Has gold been in breakout down? It has, right? It was. Last week was actually breakout week 1 to the downside on gold, which was also a bit of a first red week. Oh, but the week prior to that, is this thing just in a huge trading range? Is that what's going on? See? That's why we're having a problem with gold. That's why gold is being a little rude. Yep. Okay. Sure. Existing home sales news at 10. Yo, what is with... So you're telling me that. Is that orange news? It's right here. It is right here. Am I blind? You can say yes. $945, flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI, doesn't show news at 10 on Forex Factory. Then here on TradingView, we have news at 10, existing home sales. Let's see. Who decides how important news? Actually, not how important. What impact financial news will be? Red, yellow, whatever. So I guess each site, TradingView or Forex, they're making these decisions. They say, how each news event will impact. It doesn't go by one central person who says this is a red or a yellow or whatever. Yeah, Powell's speaking tomorrow at 10. Nipsey, no news at 10. No, there is news at 10, Nipsey. Here you go. Look. Existing home sales, 21 August, 10 a.m. That's what it says. That's what TradingView says. They said it's red news. I'll play the game. Because I'm going to feel real stupid if I take a trade prior to that. And then 10 o'clock is the trade. So I might as well just wait. Yeah, U.S. citizens. Oh, wait, did FTMO cancel? Oh, yeah, they did. I think that was a big reason why I may have switched, is because the props and the brokers and things, they stopped accepting U.S. clients, so I had to make an adjustment. Oh, let's see here. Jackson Hole. I don't know everything. Who is Jackson Hole? Or is it a what? Let's see. Oh, Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. Focuses on important economic issue facing world economics. So I'm guessing it's all the finance people come together and they... Why is that new? Whatever. I don't care. Yeah, symposium. So they're all going to come together and chit chat about, you know, finance stuff, economics. 3 minutes. Where is that? Because I've been to, let's see, I've been to 46 states and like 6 or 7 countries, but have I been to anywhere around here? Jackson Hole. Mountain Resort. Oh, that must be nice. They just go and they hang out at the mountain resort, talk about this and that. Where's it at? I'm trying to find. It is in Wyoming. Okay. Let's see. I've been to Glacier National Park, which I think is close. Near Yellowstone. I've been to Yellowstone as well. Okay. Nice. Near Yellowstone? Yeah. Yeah, I really like Yellowstone. I want to go back. Big, like, water geysers and stuff is pretty cool. Grand Tetons. I don't think I made it to the Tetons, though. You lived there? Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, 42 seconds left on this bar. I'd like to see it close lower, honestly. If it closes lower, I'm going to heavily consider it. I don't like that they put this pen down here. It's actually quite rude. But we'll see. We're going to see what it does here right in 20 seconds. Oh, I've got the spread up there too. We'll see if it opens up a little. Okay, there's the 10 o'clock news. Yeah, this little pen down here is pretty unfortunate. don't on NASDAQ. You're long on gold. Okay. You're long on gold. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really too sure that I'm a fan of this. It closed, but it didn't close outside of the pen, so it really wasn't a breakout. It was just a convincing, down close candle. It did close lower, which is good. I wouldn't want to see it close lower and then immediately close higher, because that would be obviously pretty counterproductive. Which does seem to be taking place. Might be a little 10 a.m. trap and shift move, huh? There's that little curl back down into the low. Gold is broken down and gone sideways. Indexes are pumping. So they forecasted. So I guess the sales have gone up, right? The amount of sales have gone up. Okay. So this was the previous. They thought, it'll go down by 0.01. And then it actually went up. So that's why the market's doing this, right? Yeah. Could be 3 days of shorts NASDAQ. Yeah, maybe. It's all on the inside, too. It hasn't triggered levels. It's in nonsense world, nonsense land. Yeah, it could be. Very well could be. Yeah, NASDAQ's kind of just floating out there, isn't it? A little 1, 2, 3 down. Failed to go lower and a breakout back up to the upside. Pretty consolidated. And it's still, look at this. Still doing this. No, I don't have a set risk to reward. I use the chart to tell me where to get out. NQ not tradable today. I'm thinking you're probably right. Thinking you're probably right. Could be 3 pushes down, yeah. Maybe an inside bar setup. Triggered the low. Are we going back to that? But they put the high in over here. But US 30 also hasn't triggered a weekly level. I'm going to stick to my guns. Either it works out or it doesn't. I haven't entered. I'm not going to enter yet, but I'm going to at least stick to what I thought at the beginning of the stream, beginning of the trading day, and just hold on and see. And if not, whatever. Yeah, I don't like silver either. Anything that's kind of clunky, where it'll just be, the candle will just hover in one place for a long period of time. And then all of a sudden, it'll just do something like, do this. I don't like that stuff. I don't like that at all. And I know it kind of really doesn't matter. It just matters where it goes overall. But a lot of wicks, a lot of just clunky, weird, odd movement. I don't like pairs like that. Silver's one of those. Natural gas is another. Anytime if I try to trade a futures contract on currencies, they act like that. I'm not a fan. Okay, we're 10 minutes into the new hour here. Oh my gosh. No, I use a stop loss. The moment I enter a trade, there's a stop loss in place. Redeem. I use a stop loss every time, no matter what. I at least have it on there somewhere. I have a place in the chart where I say, hey, these are where people should be stuck. Because that's what's helping me confirm trades, is where I believe people are stuck. And if they start getting let out, then obviously they're not stuck. And I'm wrong. Or the trade isn't ready to move yet. And I need to manage. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Imagine what... Was it gold the other day? It was some random... It was gold. No, I got spiked out on some crazy like 150 pip candle on a 1 minute chart. It just opened, went 150 pips straight up, and I was short. But I had a stop in place. So I was good. Everything was fine. What day was that? To be fair, I may have been trading on a really stupid day. It might have been that one. Either way. Yeah, I always have a stop in place for stuff exactly like that. And just for when I'm wrong. When I entered the trade and I thought this is where I should be wrong, to keep myself from changing my mind or becoming irrational, just put it in place and proprietary trading platform. I don't know. I use oh my gosh, what did I just say? I use Top Step. What's your worst day of the week? The day that doesn't have a setup. Mustang. I don't care what day of the week it is. I've had great days on every day of the week. I've had bad days on every day of the week. But usually my bad days are because of no setup. Which, there we go. We got the tortilla chip of torture here. The Dorito of doom. Sunday? Yeah, I guess Sunday wouldn't be a great day, would it? Or Saturday. I think Saturday is probably not a good trading day for the indexes. Yeah, but Saturday around noon, probably not the best. Why don't you trade currencies? I used to. I trade futures now. So you can trade currencies on futures, but they're clunky. And sometimes they look really strange and low volume, and I just don't like them. Whereas indexes, gold, oil, some of these higher volatility, more, we'll call them more liquid instruments, they move really nice. They have a lot of volatility. I don't really feel like I need to move. I don't really feel like I need to trade anything else. There's no point. No, there's no. Yeah, you don't have to apologize, Redeem. I get it. I get it. I don't mind answering either. I like questions. It's the whole point. If I was doing this and nobody was getting anything out of it, I've got 73 of you sitting in here right now, not liking the stream. I'm just kidding. Hanging out, but you're not like getting anything out of it, then what the heck is the point? Why am I doing this? Other than, I enjoy it. It's fun, but yeah, I'd rather you all ask and I'll answer. I don't care. What in the world was that? Yeah, there's plenty of time for setups or for questions right now because tis what it is. On to better days, on to better weeks, hopefully. The past few weeks have been really good. So they'd actually made a higher high over here, Carlo. See how this bar closed? It made a down move, right? Let's talk about that like this. Notice how the last place that they broke, this is the lowest closing bar in the down move. This bar broke and closed higher. Okay, so we have one bar closing higher. We have this other bar over here closing higher, which tells me that this is significant enough to consider it a low. All right. Then they broke. These bars don't close any higher than this bar's high, so I don't consider it. But then we come down here, and this bar closed higher than this bar's high, and then this bar closed higher than this bar's high, which means I can consider this as a low. Okay, and then they broke that low. They even closed a little bit lower, which allows me to consider between this place where they made the low and where the low was broken, I was allowed to consider this as a high which I was allowed to consider this as a higher high. Now, sometimes those higher highs fail, and sometimes they will follow through. In this case, it's looking like maybe this was a higher high. 1 push, pause, 2, 3, engulfment. And now maybe we're going back towards the high of the day. I don't know. Yesterday wasn't a first green day. We're still on the inside. We have not triggered levels. We closed in breakout yesterday, which is fine. I can't take this long. I don't have a setup. Depending on your basket, Daniel, unfortunately, Tuesday and Wednesday would not have depended on my basket because I was just being ridiculous, apparently. I just woke up on, like I said, I woke up on the wrong side of intelligence on Tuesday, thinking it was Wednesday. I was like, oh, today's FOMC, I can't trade. So I went about my morning, doing my workout, eating, doing some work in other areas. Then I come back to check the Discord, make sure there's no scammers, make sure there's no questions. Hey, Cam, FOMC's tomorrow? Yep. Well, it was just the minutes. It was FOMC. It was just the minutes, which I understand, but I still don't trade those days. But I have been seeing the minutes continue to trade very normally compared to like when it's actual FOMC, the announcement. So I might remove that rule. If it's just the minutes, I might start trading in the morning and just make sure that I'm watching only for setups, and because every single FOMC minutes, it seems like there's a good setup in the morning. So I might adapt. I might change a little bit. Like, for example, the NASDAQ yesterday was perfect. I mean, that is the most perfect textbook opportunity you will get ever. Okay. Tuesday, breakout. We're in breakout down. Maybe it'll keep going down. We broke out today or that day. And they came back up and gave 3 peaks at the level, which is a part of the setup, right? And then it went vertical at 9:30. Not only did it go vertical, it broke down. Every time the market breaks down or breaks out, it goes sideways. 1 tick below the bar, getting in, maybe even getting in in the pin hammer, and allowing it to follow through. Holy cow. Characteristics-wise, that's perfect. Hey, Florian, I'm sorry to hear that. It's going to happen, so just get very used to being uncomfortable, Don't even think about it. Who cares? In a normal business, if you're hemorrhaging money, obviously you need to figure out why. And you should care about that. But you don't consider every loss to be significant necessarily, right? Losses will occur. But if you dwell on it and you're like, oh, this is the worst week I've ever had, and then you think about it all day, and then the next day you're trying to make up for it and whatever, that's where the cycle repeats over and over. Where you just, I'm telling you, once you get off the chart, if you're not studying anymore, maybe because you're still in the learning phases and things like that, you absolutely should be putting a little grind time in, an extra hour or two building your plan and your study binder and things. But once you're done with that, try not to think about it again until the next day. Go on to a new thing. Go focus on another aspect of life. Family. Fitness. Spiritual fitness. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. What I'm focusing on right now is how gold is going sideways. NASDAQ is going back up in the middle of a range. Oil's pulling back where it's broken out up and then back down and then now maybe going back up and no setups. Lower the size. Maybe. Yeah. It looks like a squeeze. It looked like kind of like it was maybe going to squeeze over here too. And now it's kind of just proof of the move. Do you still have... I usually just cancel them. That's an interesting observation. Look at gold. This is a bar that broke the high, very strong. We've got people for sure have traded that long. Carlo, not Carlo. Did I say Carl? I don't think I did. You're here every day, Carlo. I might have a speech impediment or something. I don't know. Not really. Sometimes I do. Certainly what it feels like. Oh, gotcha. Inside day stops at previous day's high. Yeah. I think that if this is a big if I was trading this, blah 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 blah, right? I'm not. You know, previous day's high current high of day is not a bad target first, which is also the previous day's close, so I'd probably just take it to the close. Maybe leave a runner on, but something like this, I don't think I'd be long anyways, if I'm being honest. Even with this big up push here, I still... Carlo, I don't know what any of that means. I just read your first message. Yeah, I don't know. Blue. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Gold is in a box. There's gold's box. Are you talking about for gold, Blue? The only setup that I see on gold right now is we closed in breakout and going up. Oh, that's kind of weird too. Look at that. Mustang, we will see tomorrow. Did gold have a first green? Yeah. Tried to go lower, low of week. Went back up, closed, in breakout, going back towards high of week. That's why I'm watching that for this, but it's just not doing... I mean, it made the higher high, but it's just not following through. Whereas indexes and things which have been going down are now going up. Whoever said today's a good day to practice restraint, I have to agree. I have to agree. I have to. I mean, it's the only way. It's the only thing I can do. I have to agree. Why didn't you take a long on gold today? I'm still watching it. I'm hoping for a little pop here. That was a decent close. This is just a 1 minute chart, of course. Seems to be really struggling to get up there. Failing to follow through again. Be nice to see it give us a pretty solid pop here, back through the high, back up to close, and ultimately back up to previous day's high. But it would need to do it fast and aggressive. Where right now it kind of feels like maybe it's just working the high. Silver's breaking. NASDAQ is dumping. Gold is creeping higher with slow momentum. I have to agree. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. Like it just can't get there. But every time it closes a bar up, it also closes with a higher low, which could just be, we could just see a very fast, strong retracement, or this could be the channel for the squeeze. But it kind of feels like a rising wedge more than anything, like it's about to give a really strong down move instead of a strong up move. I also don't like, see how close together these swings are? And they got closer together, and it is widening back up a little bit, which could be proof of a real move, but overall we're just in consolidation, and we're back at the high of a consolidation, which, thinking about, well, is it going to break out and things like that? Probably not. Probably not. I think that I don't really have any setups, ladies and gentlemen. I think that I think I might be holding on until tomorrow and maybe even next week. I just don't feel very good about it. I think that's what we're going to do. And if I'm wrong, then so be it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time, ready to go, ready to trade. It's been a good stream. Genuinely enjoyed hanging out with you all. See if gold goes and follows through here a little bit. All right, not so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a great rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.